Hello everyone, welcome back to our Unified Modeling Language lecture series. I am Nadia Patel. Let us get started. So we are going through the UML diagram part 2 and introduction to software testing. We are in continuation to interaction diagrams and sequence diagram. We have already gone through what interaction diagrams are all about. We have seen the overview of sequence diagram, and now in this lecture we will actually understand how to draw a sequence diagram for our software project. So points which we are going to cover in today's lecture are block diagram of sequence diagram and its explanation, and finally one example. So this is the block diagram of sequence diagram. I have made use of all the possible symbols from sequence diagram, which are the object's name, the lifeline, and finally the activation box. So some things which you should remember while drawing sequence diagrams are: always place the objects in horizontal line one after the other with respect to their occurrence. Say for example the object 2 is occurring before object 1, we should place object 2 before object 1. Similarly, if there is an object which is coming in the end of any execution, we should always keep it in the last. Start writing your objects first, make grouping or collection of those objects, then find which objects are interacting, then you'll find a good sequence of objects and a good sequence of messages. Do not forget to write colon before writing object name and underline your object. After writing all the possible objects inside the object symbol, the next thing which you should do is drawing the lifeline. So lifeline is the dashed line symbol. So there are some things which we should remember while drawing the lifeline. As the name is suggesting, lifeline is going to show how long the object is going to be alive. Say for example, object 1 is going to remain in your system for a very long period of time. You are supposed to draw this lifeline with a good length. That means it should be straight and long. Similarly, the activation box, which shows the active state of object and which comprises or holds all the objects, or you can say all the activities. If this is the activity which is taking place, that is sending messages and receiving messages is an activity, it is shown on this activation box. So if the lifeline is straight and long, the activation box of the respective object should also be straight and long. On the contrary, say for example there is an object which is going to be in our system for a very short period of time. It is going to have a very short role. Then its lifeline is supposed to be short. Its activation box, which is going to hold all the activities performed by that object, should also be small. Now let us move on to the sending and receiving messages symbol. So as discussed earlier, I have already told you the briefs about all the symbols. If you have not gone through it, please kindly go through the theoretical definitions and meaning of every symbol so that you can understand the block diagram and the example. So while drawing or writing the sending messages, we are supposed to write it from left to right, and while receiving the reply messages, we should receive it from right to left. So one thing which you should note and remember is When you are sending a message from one object to another, that means you are activating the other object. So while drawing the arrow and while placing the activation box, here is the sending message. As soon as the message is received, this object will get active, and then its activation box will be drawn. So if you are sending the first message, after the first message the activation box should be drawn. Similarly, I have sent a message to object 3. So as soon as it has received a message, the activation box has got alive, and I have drawn the activation box after it received a message. If you're drawing a line and connecting it in between here and drawing your object's activation box from top, it is going to be wrong. So note that as soon as any object receives its first message, the activation box should be drawn from there. For reply messages, there is no such kind of rule. You can place as many reply messages as you want, but do not place a reply message from this dashed line to the dashed line. All the message sending and receiving should happen only on this activation box and not near the dashed lines. Now one thing which you can see is a small cross mark here or a X. This indicates the termination. Say for example, an object can get terminated before receiving a message. There can be a possibility that it is an object in our system, but there can be a case that before coming into interaction it can get deactivated. In such case, you have to place a cross or a X over it. Now once that you have understood the block diagram, let us go through our example. But before directly jumping to example, let us follow some steps. So the first step is find the objects taking part in the interaction. Find the messaging or message flow amongst these objects. Find the sequence, and finally organize them. So this is the example of a sequence diagram for library book renewal reservation system. Here I have placed all the important and all the possible objects on top of the sequence diagram. I have drawn the lifelines and the activation box with respect to the extent of that object remaining in the system. The book register, according to me, was not going to remain for a long period of time, so I have kept it to small or short. So you can see as soon as any object receives a message, the activation box gets active. Similarly, the book register got a message of book registration. Its activation box has got active. So I haven't drawn it from here, or I haven't kept it down there. So as soon as it receives a message, the activation box should get active and should be drawn. Now here there is a library counter, there is a controller, book register, book and library member. So the process is starting from the member is going to produce the card to the controller. The controller is going to check the registration of the member. Now if the member is available, we are going to give a confirmation. Now this is a condition. This is a guard condition actually. I have already explained you what guard conditions are in state machine diagram. If you are not familiar to guard conditions, kindly go to the state machine diagram video, go through it, you'll understand what these guard conditions are. So whatever conditions are coming in your sequence diagram, you can place them in the square bracket. So here is a condition: if the person is not available, we are not going to proceed further. So as soon as it detects the availability confirmation, it is going to produce the confirmation. The book is going to go for registration in the book register. we are going to find the book. If the book is available, we are going to receive it or we are going to reserve it. We will produce the book and the controller will update the book. At the same time, controller will update if the member is looking for an updation or the member is not available. After this process is completed, the controller will be displaying the book. So the process is going to be produce the book, it is going to update, and then it will be displaying the book. The member at the same time, here one process ends. The process of registering or issuing one book is completed. At the same time, if the member comes with a book and wants to renew a book, it is going to get the book, it is going to follow the same procedure again, update the book. If the member is looking for some new books, it can produce a book list. So this was just a small part or small attempt to explain you how to place and work with sequence diagrams. This is just a simple part of renewal and registration. Go through the symbols, go through the placing of sequence diagram. All you need to do is find the objects, find the interaction between them, find the sequence of interaction and sequence of objects coming into picture. Once you get the sequences, place them in the respective symbols. Place all the interactions first, that is the sending messages and the receiving messages. Place all the conditions, label them, and then draw the lifelines and the activation, because as a beginner or as the someone who has just understood a concept and is implementing, we will not directly understand how long the lifeline should be or how long the activation box should be. For that we need to understand the complete flow of interaction. Here is where my interaction ends. So I have completed my activation box right here. Later I don't find any interaction, so I don't need to stretch these activation box till down. Even here there is just one simple interaction, so I have completed it. There is one more interaction. After this interaction there is no such interaction for which I need to draw this activation box, so I have kept it here. So understanding the length of activation box and understanding the length of lifeline is very important, but that will be achieved once you understand all the possible interactions. So that's it. Very simple diagram. It is just going to demonstrate the message passing, and that's all about sequence diagram. Thank you so much. I hope you understood it.